Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Perfect. Looks like you can hear me now. Quick introduction about me here, guys. I have been helping people for almost 30 years now with health and wellness. My journey started, thanks for letting me know you guys can hear me. My journey started many years ago with my own health condition that had led me into basically becoming determined that I wanted to prove what I was told to be wrong, which I have. And I have continued to teach people how to be their own health advocates. And part of this, guys, is becoming educated and helping us to know natural strategies, things that we can learn and implement on a daily basis that can fit into our lifestyle. I'm a busy mom, 5 kids. My husband works full time. We get being busy, but that is no reason to put our health, which sometimes I get it, life situations happen, but sometimes we don't realize how our health gets put in the back. Instead, it should be in the front because it's going to help us deal with every situation that we need to. So there are pieces that we can start to implement. And that is my goal here with tonight, just discussing something that is another piece, which is fruits and vegetables, something we can incorporate more of. And just to think about ways that we can simplify what we do, and we can also learn more, right? And just if you guys can see there on the very first screen here, did you know apples, peaches, and raspberries are all members of the rose family? Kind of funny how if we look at the origination of many of our fruits and vegetables, how they have evolved and changed. And we also have certain fruits and vegetables like the one you can see in the picture here, this green bumpy looking fruit. This is actually called a pomifera fruit, and it is an unedible fruit. So there are also fruits and vegetables that aren't necessarily safe, but we are going to be focusing on ones that we know are and giving you guys some tips in how to use those. So let's start out talking about cranberries. And these are coming up. Popular time of year is generally around Thanksgiving. And here is a little interesting fact that cranberries, when they are ripe, you can actually bounce them. Pretty crazy that they are that elasticity that they can actually bounce. So kind of a fun tip. And this picture you see here at the bottom, that cranberries aren't actually grown where you think they would be. Cranberries are actually grown in, most people think they are grown, in areas that a lot of fruits and vegetables were, but instead these are actually grown in bogs and marshes. If you see the red floating here, this is pretty interesting. Those are actually cranberries. Oftentimes in harvest time, they will flood the areas so that cranberries actually rise and it's easy for them to harvest. So a little interesting fact about cranberries. So, and again, when we look at fruits and vegetables here, there are lots of areas that we can focus on, and we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. Again, our mission, guys, is just to give you guys simple tips and things that we can all start to implement. And I'm teaching you guys things that I have learned and that I personally implement with our busy family and with my personal training clients. And as a nutritionist, I get questions every day about what should I be eating and how much should I be eating. And one of the tips that I always want to help implement with people first is look at basically the quality of the food. We don't need to keep counting calories. We want to start more thinking about how we can count chemicals. That is actually a great trade-off, is how can we get more into a whole food style of living and of choices. And it's one of the resources that I use a lot when I look at research is Mayo Clinic. I'm a big fan of them. And personally, for my own health condition, that is the place that we have been many times. I believe I've had now 10 surgeries to help increase circulation in my leg. And I feel like that is the place that knows, a ton about everything. But if you look at what they recommend for dietary recommendations, fruits and vegetables are almost a part of every regimen. But Mayo Clinic, let's see if you guys have any guesses here as you guys are popping on here. Hi, Sharon. I see a couple more joining us. I see somebody else on Zoom here, but I'm not sure who it is. But if you guys want to put in a comment, what do you guys think Mayo Clinic marks as the top super fruit? Top super fruit. Let's see if you guys have any guesses. And it doesn't have anything to do with what is on the screen here. So top guesses. Let's see here. All right. I saw somebody comment strawberries. I saw another one just shared with me lemons. Good guess here. But actually, the superfruit that Mayo Clinic claims to have the most antioxidant and nutrients is actually blueberries. So that is one thing we can incorporate. Hopefully you like blueberries, but that would be a great thing to incorporate more on a daily basis. They have found that because it is the highest antioxidant fruit, that it can help with neutralizing free radicals that damage our DNA. So when we look at a protective function, blueberries are a great source. But do note, we want to make sure we wash the pesticides, herbicides, ideally organic with fruits and vegetables as much as possible. Granted, I know cost-wise doesn't always work for everyone. So know that there are options that we can at least find ways to, make sure we are doing a good job of cleaning the fruits and vegetables we are getting. So here's another interesting fact. Bell peppers are actually fruits, and scientists define fruits as the part of a plant that develops from a flower and that has seeds. So that means bell peppers, squash, cucumbers, pumpkins are all considered fruits. I think that's pretty interesting. And a lot of times, I think we classify many of these things as vegetables, but to me, when I'm talking about fruits and vegetables, decide if it's something that is grown from a plant, a tree, a bush. Those are the things we want more of. Doesn't really matter if it's classified as a fruit or vegetable, but these are the things we need to be starting to get more into our diet. I'm going to show you guys a few recipe ideas here at the end that I think will be helpful for you too. But here's another great fact that so many people always say, and we're coming up into, a lot of, for us anyways, here in Michigan, we tend to get oranges as one of our fruits that we see a lot of. And kind of interesting that actually kiwis have more vitamin C than oranges. And they are a great alternative to things that, sometimes we maybe neglect. Kiwis. So if you guys like kiwis, give me a thumbs up. I personally am a big fan of them, but they are loaded with a lot of nutrients. And this is kind of interesting. When I used to work way back when, I used to be at Johnson Controls, and there was this gentleman that would always bring kiwis in his lunchbox. And I never really paid attention until one day I was sitting, at the table with him. And I just happened to see him eat it. And he actually ate it like an apple, ate the skin and everything. So I did not know you can actually eat the skins on kiwis, but I personally am not a big fan, but know that you can do that. They are edible. So, but again, wash them first, I would recommend. And bananas are actually a berry. And this is, again, all things that I find to be pretty interesting. Anything that, if you look at a flower, that means grapes, kiwis, even bananas are considered berries. So again, kind of interesting in how we label our fruits and vegetables. Oftentimes we might not be knowing that it's not actually what necessarily we think it is. All right, guys, let me welcome Julie as you guys are popping in on here. Remember, guys, use the chat. Feel free to ask any comments, questions, guys. If you have a fun fact to add, I would love to hear it. Let's hear from you guys. What do you guys think is superfood vegetables? Do you have any guess? Superfood vegetables. We talked about fruits a little bit ago here. So, all right, see if anybody has any guesses. I do see a broccoli popped up here. All right. Okay. So these are multiple things here. They have not narrowed it down to just one that is a superfood vegetable. Instead, they classify cruciferous vegetables as the ones that we want to be eating more of. And these contain potent phytochemicals. And there's one in particular, a phytochemical. It's called sulforaphane, which they have found that, again, it's a powerful antioxidant, but it's also a powerful inflammatory, which that aids, again, in prevention and helps in treating several types of cancers. And this is why we look at vegetables oftentimes as being much more alkaline. So we do want to have both fruits and vegetables. So what are some of the superfood vegetables? These would include things like arugula. If you ever had that lettuce, it's kind of a bittery tasting lettuce. Broccoli. Yeah, it was the right guess. Somebody that guessed that. Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, radishes, and turnips all fall into that cruciferous family. So those are all great things to be incorporating more of. All right, guys, if you're reading on the screen now, we have avocados popping up. Welcome, Darlene. And if you look at avocados, again, I'm a big fan of avocados, but it's kind of interesting that if you look at where they originated, they are actually in the same family as cinnamon. Pretty crazy. So avocados are in the same family as cinnamon, but they are actually considered to be fruits, but they have so many health benefits to them. And if you look at how the body absorbs the nutrients, it absorbs the nutrients from avocados very well. And you can sneak these into a lot of things. For people that might not necessarily like the texture or the flavor, they are great to add into things like smoothies and into different dips because the flavor gets hidden very well. And it can also help with making textures more creamy for those of us that tend to prefer more of a, cream for a dressing, for example. So here's another fun fact, potatoes. This is a topic that I get asked a lot. Are potatoes considered healthy? There we go, guys. If it's grown and God made it, it's healthy. Okay, so potatoes, yes, these are a great source of nutrients. We don't need to worry about, yes, it is a starchy vegetable. That's good. Some of us are happy about this, that potatoes are, excellent and actually have a lot of potassium in there, which I know a lot of people think, oh, bananas are the top source of potassium. And no, that's actually not correct. So potatoes are a great thing to add more into your diet. And again, we're not talking about French fries, right? This is how we can discuss, I remember there was a great show a while back I used to watch. It was called Food Revolution, and they would go in and look at school lunch programs. I don't know if anybody ever watched this show, but when you ask kids what was their favorite vegetable that was served at school, it was always French fries, which is pretty sad, because if you fry a potato in a bunch of oil, you have lost all the nutrients. And we now know that, it's how we are cooking our foods that really takes away a lot of the nutrients. So we do want to make sure we're watching the processing, that we're watching, how we season things can really make you like fruits or vegetables. So learn different styles, guys, different methods. I'm sure a lot of you are maybe big fans of air fryers, for example. That's a great way to, roast different vegetables, maybe in the oven too. Some people prefer them raw. There's a lot of different ways we can start to implement. But one of the key things is we don't want to get bored, guys. Keep adding variety. Here's another, maybe something you've never actually bought before. How many of you have ever bought figs? Anybody? Figs? This is actually an amazing healthy fruit option that is loaded with calcium. Kind of interesting. So figs can be used in a lot of different ways, but a lot of times people do like them dried. They do have a lot of naturally occurring sugar in them, but they are really good to have, again, in a small amount as a snack. And again, you can find dried foods. We find a lot of times health food store is a great place for those. I've never done them myself, dried them, but we do tend to dry, apples and a lot of fruits that are, easy to dehydrate, but figs are a little bit more challenging. So that is one I would encourage trying to maybe buy already dried. So, and here's another fact. As we look at, guys, some of the ways that we can get more fruits and vegetables, okay? Think of things that can even take us longer to eat. That's a great trick. Pomegranates are a time-consuming fruit to eat. They take a long time to pull out all of those little seeds. But it's kind of interesting that an average pomegranate contains anywhere from 200 to 1,400 seeds. And we're coming into pomegranate season. So I thought this would be a fun one to mention. And these, again, are a very healthy fruit option. And again, kids love these. Granted, they are very messy, but they used to use the juice of that in different ways of even staining. They would use it as a way to create color. Pomegranate juice, again, it will, that's why I said definitely want to maybe cover up if you're wearing a light colored shirt or something, but they are so fun to try. So if you've never tried a pomegranate, this would be a great one for you to try coming up here, as those will be in season. So what are some ideas and strategies of how we can get more fruits and vegetables? Now, I know for many of us, we don't maybe like to just sit and eat raw carrots. Maybe you do, or celery, or, certain fruits we might not like and enjoy. But this is an approach that I have used with clients for a long time that I thought I would share with you guys. On average, we want to make sure we are getting at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. So a really simple strategy is called a 1-2-3 approach. And the strategy is you have 1 serving with breakfast, 2 servings at lunch, and 3 servings between dinner and snacks. That's a great, easy thing to remember. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1 with breakfast, 2 at lunch, 3 divided between dinner and snacks. And we can add vegetables into things. So think of breakfast, lots of ideas we can throw into vegetables, into our eggs. We can add, I'm a big fan of, we use something called super greens boosters. We'll throw into maybe our smoothies, or we can even add in kale, spinach, those things first thing to help get some vegetables. And there is no limits when it comes to how you eat your fruits and vegetables. But I thought I would give you guys some recipe ideas. So if you can see on the screen here, feel free to screenshot these so you have them available. This is a great idea. And I figured basil is still in season for a lot of people. A veggie pesto. Again, very easy to make. If you've never used, one of the ingredients in here is called nutritional yeast. And it can be found, Meijer's, Amazon, health food stores, but it almost gives it a Parmesan cheese flavor. So it's a great thing to add on. We'll put it on popcorn. But again, if you look at the combination of, high nutrients in this pesto, amazing. And it's super easy to use and you don't even have to cook it. So great idea. Again, just trying to give you guys some maybe more ideas of how you could use up different fruits and vegetables. Roasting, that is one of my personal favorite ways to eat more vegetables. And these are even great when you make them, make extra. So you can put them, if you are okay with leftovers, you can use them the next day, throw them on a salad, make them into a stir fry. But these are, sometimes we forget about, things like mushrooms that we could put into, a roasting pan. We could throw in there, this is again, just a simple recipe, maybe some different seasonings to change up the flavoring. I think that a lot of times there's so many seasonings, but one of the ones I've been using a lot lately is actually called Spikes. Has anybody heard of Spike seasoning? Sorry, like I said, you guys may mention we have 5 kids, so you might hear noises here and there. But that is a great seasoning that we can add in there that is, again, just a fun way to even just change up the flavor of roasting vegetables. Now, we do a cleanse a couple times a year, so I thought I would pull a couple of those recipes because these are both fruit veggie based. A mushroom taco seasoning sounds crazy, but it is actually amazing. Try this one. I think you'll be really surprised, along with tomato bisque soup. The main ingredient, again, tomatoes are in season, so you can, make those into a soup, and you can even freeze some of these recipes. So great idea for trying to use up and increase your vegetables. Doesn't, again, have to be boring, guys. Keep adding variety to make things fun. I think that's one of the reasons we quit, is because we tend to eat the same things, get in the same routine. Some of that's okay, right? But we do need to surprise ourselves. So, and again, guys, you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. So feel free to share. Smoothies are one of my personal favorites. This is how we start our day every single day. And I chose to pick some that had vegetables in here. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through here. The first one is, I agree, Darlene. I'm 100% with you. I'm looking forward to soups and chilies, and that is probably the only reason I like fall and winter, because I'm more of a warm weather fan, but I do like the changes in recipes. But this first recipe for a shake is Very Berry Green Goodness Shake. This has Strawberry Life Shake, which is a low glycemic, very clean protein source that is low glycemic, gives you a lot of vitamins and minerals with leucine for muscle mass. But this is a complete meal replacement, but you throw in there, do you see this? Peeled cucumber. Yes, you can put cucumbers in your smoothie. Steamed green zucchini. You will not know it's in there, I promise. Spinach, blueberries. We talked about that as our #1 superfruit. If you don't like them, put them in a smoothie. We have strawberries and we have avocado, and you can choose to have that with milk or water. We also have a chocolate mint shake. This one uses the Chocolate Life Shake as the base, a peeled cucumber, again, avocado, and a few mint leaves. Gives it a great flavor. You can also add in there cinnamon instead of the mint, or you can add the cinnamon with the mint, and it gives it a great fall flavor, kind of almost I would say it almost reminds me of like a ginger snap type flavor to it. So it's a great combination, is that mint with cinnamon. And then we have the spicy green shake. And again, people are like, oh man, I'm not sure if I could add a jalapeno pepper in here. Don't do it if you don't like spicy, but it's offset by some of the sweet. So this one uses a vanilla protein base. We have power greens, we have baby carrots, we have ginger, we have lemon. Yep, you can put the rind in there, but again, I encourage you to wash that first. Some basil leaves. This one has an apple and half of a jalapeno with or without the seeds, depending on if you like it spicy or not. So again, guys, fun recipes, things that you might not think of. That's our goal, is to give you ideas and suggestions and different approaches to how we can make health fun. Now, next week, I want to make sure that you guys are all planning ahead. We have a really fun challenge coming up here, that in this group, this Busy Moms group, we have been every week giving you guys, again, something live to be thinking about, some new areas to focus on. We've done back to school, Costco meal ideas. There's a workout with no equipment. If you go back, you can watch some of these. But next week, this will be a challenge that we're going to have a tracker that you can print. Everybody can participate, guys. It is free. You'll print the tracker. We start on Monday. The tracker gives you exactly what you need to do to try to eat the rainbow. We are trying to incorporate more fruits and vegetables. Again, there'll be lots of recipes, lots of ideas. I'll be doing some demos in here, but it'll be a lot of fun. And this is, again, I feel like accountability is something we all need more of. So that is going to be our mission, guys, that as we keep moving forward and we look at how we can best help you. I would love to hear from you. If there's a topic you would like me to do live, or in our AV Wellness Fitness app and on our website, we are always, looking at ways we can make fitness fun and more simplified. So all of our 5-minute, 20-minute workouts that are on there, if you have some ideas you would like to see, and meal plans are on there, we are here for you. That is our goal. So, all right, guys, if this was helpful, I would love to hear from you. So again, we're trying to keep these 20 to 30 minutes every Wednesday night. Next week, we will have a new topic, but we will also be having our fruit and veggie challenge, Eat the Rainbow, next week, Monday. If you're planning to participate, also comment. I would love to know. I know we have quite a few people planning to join us. So more the merrier. Invite your friends, invite your family, get your kids involved. These are all things that we should be doing more of. So this will be fun. All right, guys, have a great night. Take care and go eat some more fruits and vegetables.